This video will show how to solve one-step equations using multiplication or division. Let's draw our line so that we can clearly see the two sides of our equation. My goal is to get the variable by itself, so I'm trying to get this a alone. The 4 is in the way, so you need to ask yourself, what are the 4 and the a doing together? In this case, 4 is being multiplied by a. To undo a multiply, we need to do the opposite of it. So, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 becomes a 1, leaving me with just a. Negative 24 divided by 4 is a negative 6. Let's check our answers. I'm going to rewrite my equation, and instead of the a, I'm going to substitute a set of parentheses. I think that a is negative 6, so we're going to place that in the parentheses instead of the a. 4 times negative 6 is negative 24, and negative 24 does equal negative 24, so this problem is done correctly. Let's try another one. Again, let's draw our line so we can see our two sides clearly. And again, the problem is on this side. I want the x by itself, but that negative 6 is just in the way. We need to again ask ourselves, what is the negative 6 doing with the x? Well, this is a fraction, and the negative 6 in the denominator means we are dividing by negative 6. In order to make the negative 6 go away, I must do the opposite, or undo that division. The opposite of dividing is multiplying. I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 6. Okay, I can write this over 1 so you can clearly see that the negative 6 is on the top, it's a numerator, and this negative 6 is on the bottom, it's a denominator. And when I multiply those two things, I end up with a negative 6 over negative 6, and they cancel to a 1, leaving me with just the x on the left-hand side. Negative 12 times a negative 6 is a positive 72. Let's check our answer. I am going to write the equation using parentheses instead of my variable. And I think that x is a 72, so I'm going to substitute that 72 in the parentheses instead of the x. When I put this in the calculator, 72 divided by a negative 6 does give me a negative 12. And negative 12 does equal negative 12, meaning this is also done correctly. Let's look at one more. Okay, again we draw our line, and this time you can see that the problem is on the right-hand side. I want the r by itself. This 8 is just in the way. What are the r and the 8 doing together? Well, it is a fraction, again, and the 8 is in the denominator, so I am dividing by 8. In order to undo that, I must multiply that side by 8. And again, if we do it to one side, we must do it to the other. These 8's become 8 over 8, which cancels to a 1, leaving me with just the r on the right-hand side. And 8 times 2 is 16. Notice the r started on the right-hand side and ended on the right side. My constants, 8 times 2, all stayed on the left side. Let's check our original equation. 2 is equal to, and we'll put a set of parentheses instead of that r. I think r was a 16, so I am going to substitute that 16 into the parentheses. 16 divided by 8 is indeed 2. 2 does equal 2, so once more, we have completed the problem correctly.